Everything in my life is aligning. I'm a coach. People are listening. My live videos get 1,000 hits easily. People are pouring in. I'm in love with my husband. I'm polyamorous, and I have more love coming in. Everything is going right, and I get this fear that I don't know if I'm worthy of it all, and that I could ruin it.
Well, this is the thing that we want you to know. It couldn't happen if you weren't aligned. And when you take the word worthy out of it and just talk about whether I'm allowing it in the moment, that's all. This alignment that we talk about all day, every day, is not like a college degree where once you get your certificate, it's yours forevermore. It either is or it isn't in the moment. You're either under the influence of your inner being or under the influence of something else. And there's nothing in the universe that's judging you about which it is. Because sometimes you're in a step 1 moment. Good. Sometimes you're in a step 3 moment. Good. It's all good. In other words, it's all what you came for. The important thing is that you accept, that you acknowledge and accept and then practice your ability to stay in alignment with who you are. That's all. That's all. But what makes you call yourself unworthy is that awful feeling you feel when you're moving away from who you really are and what you want. When you find fault with anyone, you move away, and that makes you feel unworthy. But such a funny word, you can't be not worthy of well-being. Sometimes teachers like you visit with us, and they're talking about the people that they want to influence and help and uplift. And sometimes they get fixated on the really hard cases, the ones that are stubbornly not letting in what you know, if they would let it in, would help them. And we always say this when that happens. They have inner beings who are flowing to them all day, every day. And if their own inner being can't get in, then why are you upset that you can't? So don't judge your worthiness based upon how others are responding to you. And don't call it worthiness for a little while. Let's let everything be about satisfaction just for a little while. And if you are evaluating through the lens of satisfied or not, and you're getting better and better and better at feeling satisfied, then you are more and more frequently under the influence of who you really are. And then your life is, as you just described to us your life to be. You're thriving in this way and in this way and in this way and in this way. Humans have this expression that they often use when things get going really good. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, they say. It's because people think that there's only this pie that's this big, and if you're getting this goodness, then you must be depriving others of the goodness. And it's not like that. The pie is expanding to the requests that you are putting in, and the receiving of it is not a fair and equal divvying out. It's how much of the pie are you letting in? And you cannot deprive anybody else of any pie. You created your pie and you let it in, or you don't let it in, period. That's all that it is. So what most people do, and you're doing it too, you evaluate your worthiness based upon how other people seem to feel about your thriving. Because when somebody wants to thrive and they don't think they are, and they don't know why, and they view you and you're obviously thriving, then they conclude something going wrong somehow, and you pick up on that a little bit. But now you've got the whole story. You know how it all works. Everyone is worthy. They just got to tweak it just a little bit. And if they let the momentum of their negative emotion get going too strong, then they can't tweak it, and so their life just doesn't get any better. As a teacher, what you do is you just keep intending to be the uplifter that you are, and you ask the universe to provide for you some perfect timing to uplift, and then you just stay as happy as you can be about all of the things that are going well, and the universe will yield to you sequence after sequence after sequence of someone who's ready to receive what you're ready to offer. And just like we found you all lighted up sitting over there, there was no possible way that we weren't going to get you here. Even though you had this little twinge of maybe I'm not ready, maybe I'm not ready, maybe I'm not ready, you're ready. And that's the way others will show up in your life. They might not know they're ready, but oh, they're ready. They're ready, or you wouldn't have the feeling about them that you have about them, you see?
I felt it in my heart. I was like, she's going to call on me, and it's okay to trust it. But I don't want to tell my husband because he would think I'm crazy, that I knew.
She knew.
And I want to let myself know, I just want that freedom.
Well, this is what we said to you all earlier, so hear this. Words don't teach, but what brings knowledge to you is living life and asking for things and feeling yourself apart from them, and then feeling the discord of the apartness, and then doing something about it by meditating, and then quieting your mind and feeling the relief of the resistance, and then allowing your vibration to rise, and then getting into the receiving mode, and then from that feeling an impulse to do something which feels so fun or so interesting that you follow it, and then it pays off. And now you're able to make the very distinct, obvious association between your action or your thought or your decision or your behavior and what came next. And once you get that, once you are able to trace the trail of your magnificent happy day after happy day after happy day back to satisfied, 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 then you realize that it's not the big complicated thing that everybody is wanting to make it out to be. It's so simple. You got here, the larger part of you stayed. You're in contrast. Contrast lets you know what you don't want. You launch rockets of desire. Rockets of desire are contained in this vibrational reality. We gave it a name, wrote 2 books about it. It's your vortex. We want you to accept that it's real. So here is this vibrational reality. You might not be in the vicinity of your vibrational reality. You might be feeling unworthy or complaining about something, but now you've decided that you're just going to reach for more thoughts of satisfaction. So you are hanging around in the vicinity of what's in there. You become a vibrational match, vibrational mutuality or harmony. You become a cooperative component to what's in your vortex, which means you and your vortex are now vibrationally one, which means ideas that your inner being knows about things like that suddenly are your ideas. Most people want mutuality with others, which means I need you to get me, and so I need to explain to you a lot about what I think, which means I'm going to be watching you to see if you think what I think. And I can see by the way your eyes dart around, and heaven forbid if you ever say something that I don't agree with, because I need mutuality from you. In other words, you must validate me by agreeing with me. I believe that my life experience is the true life experience. I believe that what I believe is right because I believe it, and then the universe gives it to me, so it must be right. I thought it, and then it happened, so it must be right. Esther said to us in the beginning, Abraham, it's true. Shouldn't I focus upon what's true? We said there are a lot of things that are true that you don't want to live. We would use a different criteria. Does it feel good when you think about it? Because people are just creating things all over the place, and they are real and they are true, but that's not a good reason for you to give your attention to it. And so once you get that all figured out, and you have, and then you care about how you feel, and then you come into alignment with the whole of who you are, then you feel empowered. You look obnoxious to others because you're so frisky and so sure of yourself and so happy, and things don't get you down, and you have contrast. You're back in step 1, but you don't care. You're like your inner being because you know the blessing that step 1 contrast is. You know that it's just another question, which means another answer. You broke the whole shelf of all those beautiful things, Yadros and Sabinos and all kinds of Sabinas and all kinds of beautiful pieces of things. And it doesn't matter because more are on the way, because now you're asking for something again. You can't get it wrong, and you'll never get it done. And isn't that good?
There's so much freedom here.
Only place that satisfaction is in moving in the direction of what you desire. You came with this triad of intentions when you plopped in, of freedom and growth and joy. It's this perfectly balanced triad of intentions. So we say freedom and growth and joy, and you say, we hear you, Abraham, growth, growth, growth. You say, yeah, freedom and growth and joy. And you say, yeah, growth, 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 growth. We say, you are so free you can choose bondage. And growth or expansion is an inevitable consequence of beingness. But when you focus on joy, now it all fits together, because life causes you to reach for the expansion, actually creates the expansion. But the fun of life is getting to witness the pieces being put together of your requests. And when you start allowing more of the pieces of your request to be put together by the cooperative components of the universe, the fairies of the universe will put it together for you. That's when you begin to feel your worthiness. When you realize, I didn't suffer for this, I felt satisfied for this. I didn't pay a price for this, I just loved for this. I just surrendered into the goodness that I am, and the universe reflected back to me the goodness that I am. So we talked about more things today than you might currently realize, because we kept coming back to just one thing, which is paying attention to the way you feel and holding yourself as close as you can into that least resistant state. We want you to think about this one thing. We never assign homework. But this is where, if you put your attention, you will get your greatest satisfaction and your biggest payoff as a result of what's happened here today. First, we want to say, because of your willing participation here with us and your willingness, we started to say patience, but patience really isn't what we're reaching for, because patience is sort of enduring something that you don't want to endure. And what we really mean is, by being present and listening and allowing yourself to hear the combinations of things that we've all talked about, your set point has shifted. Your vibrational point of attraction is in a different place than it was when you walked in the door, which is a huge advantage to you, because you already had a vortex full of requests that you had personally established and identified, and now you're more open and receptive to the receiving of them. So when you leave here, don't get into a dialogue with someone where you want to get all heady and wordy about what happened here. Let this be an emotional surrendering. Let it be a shifting of vibration. Let it be a coming together between you and you that you feel more than you think about. Don't try to explain it to anyone, not even if the one that you feel inclined to explain it to was sitting here with you in the room. Esther saw in New York last weekend the play Hamilton. She'd heard about it. She really didn't understand. She knew sort of what it was going to be about, but she didn't know enough about it to be really ready for what it was. And the awesomeness of it left her forever changed. And as she tries to explain it to those who weren't there, she just feels foolish. Her words just sound like garble as she looks at them and realizes they're getting nothing from her description. She just can't get enough words in and remember enough of the lyrics and get animated enough to make them get what she got from being there. Well, that's what's happened to you. You can't explain the vibrational shift that has taken place within you. It's enormous. And what that means is, as you make just the slightest little determination that you're going to lean on the satisfying edge of the spectrum, that you're going to be the witnesser of some things falling into place that have felt out of place to you for a while. Improvements in this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that. And this is what we ask of you. This is the homework that we're assigning. We don't assign homework, but this is it. Make the correlation. Make the correlation. That is new because I was more satisfied than I usually am. And once you get the hang of this satisfaction business, so many things ripe and ready for you to pluck from your vortex are going to flow into your experience. And it's not just the thoughts turning to things and now all of a sudden you've got things in your life that you've been wanting. It's the fun of you getting to witness the unfolding of them and you knowing that you did it by the shifting of your vibration. There is so much love here for you. We feel appreciation for your willingness to be here in this body and for your willingness to be here in this room, for your willingness to put up with the contrast that puts the new stuff in the vortex, from your willingness to accept that there is a vortex, and for your willingness to look in the direction of it with some faith or belief that it really is there, for your willingness to accept that you have an emotional guidance system, and for your willingness to feel it and guide yourself in the direction of what feels best within it. We appreciate your step one-iness. And we know that you appreciate our step two-iness. And we want you to know that we adore your step 3-ness. And as you have moved into step 4-ness today, you're going to live in happily ever afteriness.